What a delight to be here with you today. This is Gabriel Swaggart, and welcome once again to these daily video blogs. And let me just make this quick announcement that there are going to be times during these daily video blogs that during the week I'm only able to record maybe one or two for that week, depending on my schedule, the taping that I have to do. And there are some weeks where I have to record about 13 to 15 programs in 1 week in those 5 days, and so that's a lot of taping that goes on. And so but other times I'm able to go through each and every single day, so bear with me because of that. It's not because I don't want to or forget, it's just because of my schedule. It does it takes a lot to record all those different programs in 1 week. So, but thank you for making these programs a part of your day. We appreciate it. We just ask that you continue to subscribe to them. Tell others about the programming. Tell others about this particular YouTube channel, and let's get the excitement going with this particular channel. We've been covering. We're going to do our best to finish it up here today. We've been covering on the subject of God's cure for worry, anxiety, and fear. And we have been taking our text here today over the last several weeks, I would say, the last several programs from 1 John chapter 4, reading verse 18, where John the Beloved would write and say this: "There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear, because fear has torment. He that feareth is not made perfect in love." And I want to look at this here just for a few moments today, kind of picking up where we left off. During the last program, we made the statement that the greatest display of God's love ever shown in human history is the cross, is Calvary. But I want to add to this, and I want to go on and just go ahead and make this statement that love did not originate from man, but love rather originated from God. Man doesn't really understand what true love is. God does, because God is the very epitome of love. He is love. That's not just one of His attributes. He is love. Man did not understand what love was until God first loved him, until he was shown the love of God. Now let me say it better this way. Man did not know what true love was until God showed it to him. Man did not know what love really was. And in all honesty, when it comes to the believer, and this is what I want to focus here on today for today's program, it's this: when it comes to the believer, everything that we do must have its foundation in the message of Jesus Christ and Him crucified. Now, I've been told, that a lot of people, not a lot of people, but there have been people who have mentioned to me, and the message of the cross is false, and whatever the case may be, and you're entitled to that opinion. But if you really want to know what true victory is, it's found in the cross, because it was the cross in which Jesus Christ paid the debt of sin. It was at the cross that God satisfied the demands of a broken law. Let's say it this way: the law it was broken, and it had to be addressed. Jesus Christ kept the law in totality, kept it perfectly. In fact, His very words said, "I did not come to do away with the law, but I came to fulfill the law," which He did. He satisfied the demands of a broken law at Calvary's cross. I believe Galatians chapter 3 tells us that. But anyway, it was the cross in which we have everything. So the message of the cross should be the very foundation of which we base our life. How can we say that perfect love casts out fear, or there is no fear in love and perfect love casts out fear, because fear has torment? How does the apostle say this? Why does John the Beloved say this, and how can we explain it? Well, let's say it this way: there is no fear in love. Now, there is two types of fear. There is a fear of respect, meaning awe. It means reverence. And then there is a fear meaning afraid. That word fear used here means afraid. When it comes to fear and love, they are polar opposites. They do not and they cannot coexist. They are opposites one of another. Where there is fear, there is going to be no love. Where there is love, there's not going to be fear. When there is fear, we're depending upon something else. When there is love, we're depending upon Christ and Him crucified. Now, let's explain it this way in the time that I have. And God forgive me, or you forgive me for explaining this and taking up a lot of time on this, but I believe it's necessary. When it comes to true love, we have to understand that we know what love is because God first loved us. But love is based in the cross. If our faith is anchored in Jesus Christ and Him crucified, there will be a proper love, and proper love will dispel fear, because we understand if God can handle my sin problem at Calvary's cross, then He can handle anything else. If He can handle my sin problem, which He took away at Calvary's cross, then He can handle anything else. Whenever there is misplaced faith, when faith is not anchored in Christ and Him crucified, it means that it's misplaced. Your faith is misplaced. It's in something else. And when there is misplaced faith, there is not proper love. And when there is not proper love, it results into fear. Think back in your mind for a moment that before you understood the message of the cross, you were constantly worried about what you were trying to do to live a life according to the Scriptures. You were constantly fretted by everything that you thought you had to do. And the moment that you missed one thing, there was fear that gripped a hold of you that I missed it and God's going to be displeased with me. No, that's the way we all were, but that's not the way it should be. When we understand who we are in Christ, when we understand the price that He paid and our faith is anchored in Jesus Christ, who He is and what He has accomplished for us at the cross, we understand that my faith is placed there. With my faith placed there, love is going to be the end result, because we have an understanding. It's not about what we do. Living for God is not about what we do. But what we do now is not based on fear, but rather based on my love for Him. Now, I want you to think about that. I do believe, of course, I do believe that if your faith is right and anchored in Christ and Him crucified, that there are going to be things that you're going to do. There are going to be things that you are wanting to do. In other words, proper faith always produces proper works. When your faith is placed in Christ securely, correctly, then there will be proper works that will follow. In other words, you're not reading the Bible based upon you have to. You're reading the Bible because you love God and you want to know more about Him. You're not praying because there's a fear. If I don't pray for 30 minutes today, then God's going to be displeased with me. No, you want to pray because out of love for Him, you want to know Him more. You want to have His presence in your life. You need His direction. You need His leadings, His leading, and you need His guidance and His empowerment. So in other words, if we live our life based upon what we do, our faith is misplaced, which means our love is misplaced, which means it will result into fear. But if our faith is placed properly in Christ and Him crucified, then not only will our faith be rightly secured, but it will produce a proper works based upon my love for Him. Not because I have to earn something, but because my love for Him is great. Now, I'm run out of time, and we'll pick it up next week. I apologize. I wish I was going to get a little bit further along with this than I would have, but my time is literally running out as we speak. So understand this. Perfect love casts out fear. Perfect love is based on Christ and Him crucified. It is based on what He has accomplished for us. When my faith is anchored in Christ securely, then there will be a proper works that will align itself with that, which means that there will be no fear, but rather be an understanding that if Christ can settle my sin problem at Calvary's cross, then He can do anything. There will be a love for this and a love for Him as His love is for us. Now, I hope I properly explained that today, ladies and gentlemen. I hope I didn't confuse you. But if I did, we'll try to rectify it on the next program. Subscribe to this program. Tell others about it. We love you. God bless you. We'll see you next time in the Lord.